Hello, friends. My name is Anitra Carr, and today I have the honor of introducing my favorite person, my husband, Smoke Wallin. Smoke and I have spent the last 20 years creating an amazing life. Together, raising kids, building businesses, hopefully making the world a better place. And YPO has been a centerpiece of our journey. Most people know Smoke as a successful entrepreneur, but I'd like to share about the man that I know. From the start, I found him to be curious, interested, and interesting, with an incredible mind, a lover of music, history, nature, fun-loving, and family-oriented. His focus on creating quality time has filled our lives with wonderful adventures. His infectious energy inspires and uplifts those around him. He's incredibly generous with his time, supporting others in business and mentorship. Silly and funny, he makes me feel like the luckiest girl in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Smoke Wallin.
Forevermore, my love, my...
Einstein said there are only two ways to live your life. One is if nothing's a miracle, the other is if everything's a miracle. Had you said that to me 2 years ago, I would have been like, that's nice. Let's go grab a tequila at the bar. True story. This is my 21st year in YPO, and I've led a high-profile entrepreneurial career. And today, I help other entrepreneurs maximize their exits globally and turn success into significance. I have a loving family. Thank you, Anitra, for the beautiful introduction and song. How about the song, Anitra? And of our life together. And 4 adult children, all good humans. If you met me then, you would have met a happy guy, for sure. But just beneath the surface, I was actually suffering from anxiety, but ignoring the symptoms. Going into the pandemic, I had a business collapse. I was drinking for sport. I won a lot. I see some of you out there. My health was declining. I had gained a bunch of weight. I had gout, pre-diabetes, insomnia, you name it, all the normal things. And although I had co-founded Dignity Moves with other YPOers to help the homeless, if I'm honest, if I ran into a homeless person, I would cross the street to avoid them. I was avoiding difficult emotional situations wherever possible. You know, deep down I was thinking, I'm not good enough, people don't really like me, they like my lifestyle, they like to drink with me for sure. I'm really only safe if I'm in control. All those things were running through my head. Then I had the opportunity to go to Nepal and visit Buddha's birthplace. There, in this majestic temple, I was never really spiritual or religious, but the smell of incense, the chimes in the background, the Buddha, something came over me, and I prayed. Help me find peace and love. A couple months later, a good YPO friend of mine and partner said, Smoke, you should really meet my friend Ivan Rados. He's an enlightened healer, and he's helped me on my spiritual journey. I'm like, okay, sounds cool, I'm open to it. Then I met Ivan. He said, Smoke, what is it that you want? Peace and love for my family and the world. That is good. But I see you can only fix yourself. And I see you lack trust. You don't trust others, and you don't trust yourself. What are you talking about? I trust. That first meeting was difficult. painful, really. But after a series of deep explorations, I began to realize he was right, and to understand why. We journeyed back to early childhood, where I blamed myself for my parents' divorce. But I soon uncovered a much deeper truth: severe childhood trauma. The memories began flooding back. The smell of aerosol right guard on my maternal grandfather, a pedophile. The sound of screams on the piano bench, waiting our turn. Adults betraying my trust. And horrors no one should ever face, certainly not a 7-year-old. Years later, as a young adult, surviving this childhood abuse, but continuing to experience deep trauma and suffering from PTSD, I came to the brink of taking my own life. But in desperation, my mind went into protection mode and buried it all in my subconscious for decades. I went on to have a successful life, career, family, YPO, but unbeknownst to me, these unresolved issues were buried deep in my subconscious and really creating this anxiety and dis-ease. Emotional energy hairballs were stuck inside, driving my nonstop monkey mind and hidden self-loathing. This inner conflict with my positive conscious mind brought me to a breaking point. Yvonne told me, "Smoke, you're harboring feelings of resentment, anger, and shame. To release them, say thank you." Thank you? Okay, I'll try. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It felt really strange saying thank you all the time to everyone and everything. But after a while, I began to feel gratitude and to actually feel compassion. My heart began to open. This technique really works. In extensive integration work, I wrote multiple letters to each person involved, detailing the damage done, the things that happened, and ceremoniously burning them up in my fire pit at home. The smell of burning ashes dissipating into the crisp air, I let go of those feelings as I cried. But in the end, I was able to finally ask for each person, what happened to you? Like, what happened to them? And I found my heart, my center. Freud said, in little things, trust the mind. In the big things, the heart. Overcoming my ego mind and pride, I was able to truly forgive everyone involved. But most importantly, I forgave myself. Turns out I blamed my 7-year-old self or whatever, a child, for the circumstances that were beyond my control. Forgiveness has taken me from the depths of shame to a steady state of bliss, like true bliss. And many people have asked me, like, what's up with you, dude? Like, how did you get from anxiety to forgiveness to bliss? James Allen said, as a person thinketh in his heart, so he is. What are you thinking each and every day? You know, the average person has between 60 and 80,000 thoughts a day running through their heads. 90% of those thoughts are recurring. Where are they coming from? A lot of them are not even accurate. They're coming from your subconscious. So these are things that we, for the most part, learn between the ages of 0 and 7 years old when we're in a theta state of brain. In order to change our thoughts, we have to change our subconscious, and that's our default mode of thinking. Since we are today what we thought yesterday, and what we think today, we will be tomorrow. The good news is, if we do this, if we change our subconscious and change our thoughts, we change our world. And everyone in this room can do just that. It's pretty awesome. And I uncovered a universal process for doing just that, finding inner peace, which I'll share the highlights of here. Started with purification of my mind, body, and spirit. Curating the inputs and eliminating outside noise. Leaning into selfless service and gratitude. Gaining a real understanding of the ego and its aversions and attractions at various levels of consciousness. And truly letting go with deep meditation to awareness. Once I brought light to my shadows, I rediscovered my true self, my inner divinity, my soul. I told my teacher, Yvonne, it was like a loud fan going off in the back of my head. I didn't know it existed until it turned off. And awareness turned it off, revealing perfect peace. My health is restored. I've dropped 40 pounds. Okay, now only 30. The gout, prediabetes, nightmares, they are gone. And I don't need that tequila anymore. Last month marked the year of sobriety. Thank you. This is my friend Des. He's homeless, and I crossed the street to get to know him and help. But when I look in the mirror, I realize that I'm the one that was helped. I found trust. I now appreciate God's universal love and forgiveness. I now see the world with compassion rather than judgment. I now know I'm not my story. Neither are you. You see, I tapped into a higher energy field and found my true self. The inventor Nikola Tesla said, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. In reaching a higher vibration, infinite consciousness has been revealed to me, and it is why we are here. Turns out, the law of attraction is a real thing. It's universal, and it's in full effect. You see, my prayer in Nepal was answered in quite an unexpected way from my perspective. Instead of me finding peace and love, it found me. And I'll leave you with this. Rumi said, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you've built against it. When I removed my barriers, I found out in forgiving, we are forgiven. You too may have experienced tragedy and heartbreak. You too are not your story or the emotional baggage and thoughts that they drive. You too can transcend your past. I'm living proof. Whatever happened to you, big or small, in the past or in the future, forgive. You owe it to yourself. And remember, to err is human, to forgive, divine. And forgiveness is not condoning. It's not. It is freedom. Now, join me in taking the first step to living in gratitude. Please stand up. Look at your neighbors. Now tell 3 of them, thank you, thank you, thank you. Over the coming days, please say thank you to the people you meet in all walks of life. You will feel the gratitude grow inside. In forgiving, we are forgiven. Thank you. Thank you.